So we grew up playing Castlevania games, and Castlevania games are freaking awesome. So it started off as they were just wanted to make a game that was about classic horror monsters. I love those games. Symphony of Night is incredible, but even just the old games are awesome. But Netflix has a Castlevania anime that is really good.
Really good watch.
Yeah.
Really good.
What have you done? Satan! What have you done to my wife? In nomine Patris et Filii.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast coming at you from the Slice on Oak Studios. I'm Mayor Dave Badeaux, the city of Brainerd. With me, as always, is my brother.
We'd make national news, baby.
Okay. Yo, Dizzle. All right. Gabriel Johnson, what say ye?
Dave, do you got time for a quick word association game?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, 3 words.
Yes.
Arrogant. Uncouth.
Uncouth.
And hostile.
Oh!
To what am I referring?
Gabriel Johnson.
Yes.
Uncouth, huh?
Uncouth.
You say that like it's bad. Well, it means frightened and weak-willed. That was the only part of the letter I thought was complimentary.
Anyways, hey, it's Jesse.
It's me.
He's back.
I'm here again.
15 seconds to explain yourself. Go.
My name is Jesse Huber. I live in Brainerd. Plane trade. I own it.
Wonderful. Love it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Draft Day. Super Villain Edition.
Okay.
So we were trying to rack our brains around what we would do our next draft day on. We've done a ton of stuff from movies, a ton of stuff from lately music, which was a lot of fun. However, because of that, we were throwing around some stuff like, what should we do? My son brought up superheroes, supervillains. I think superheroes is okay.
It's always fun, but villains are always a lot more fun.
I think villains are a lot more fun. So that's what we've decided to do today. What do you guys think?
I think we haven't drawn straws.
Oh, shit. That's something we should have done. Jesse, point to who you want to go first. Gabe, who's second?
Well, no, we
Scott.
just go
Oh,
around.
we'll just go around.
Yeah, you're second.
You do
I'm
this
second?
every time.
All right, I'm second.
Ugh, you're the worst kind of autistic.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm second. So the way this works is we have a list of 12 items on the board, in this case, supervillains. And then we will go around the horn here. Gabe, myself, Jesse, Scott, Jesse, myself, Gabe, snake draft fashion. Each of us must select 3 total supervillains. 2 must be on the board from the 12 we have listed. 1 can be any supervillain that we can think of from any other thing we want. Everyone understand the basics?
Yes.
When it comes to supervillains, this is not just going to be like your comic book supervillains. I think that is too narrow of a topic. We will also say that we've said this before, comic book adjacent.
Yes.
Always have been. Love a lot of the content, was not a consumer of the actual comics themselves myself. Jesse, probably a little bit more.
I was a little bit more.
Okay.
I focused on a lot of DC stuff. I was more of a Batman, Superman guy.
Oh, yeah.
I liked a lot of Marvel stuff, but
They're just ripping off DC at this point.
Well, since the beginning. So anyways, so what we've decided to do is create a list that is a little bit wider than that. However, it's got some of your heavy hitters from your standard comic book stuff. And then I will also say that, yes, in terms of like best supervillain, there's obviously the World Eaters, these giant supervillains that
Galactus and your
exactly. We have left most of those off of the list mainly because, yeah, we get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can eat a planet.
Right.
Sweet. Sweet. Some of these guys do some other dirty deeds. All right, so are you ready for the list?
Yes.
Number 1, Magneto. Number 2, Lex Luthor. Venom. The Joker. Darth Vader. Thanos. Doctor Doom. Hannibal Lecter. Now this one's a combo. Voldemort / Sauron. Must select one. Once it is selected, the other goes away forever. Ernst Blofeld. Freddy Krueger. Did you just randomly Tim Allen? You just tool time me? Ernst Blofeld from James Bond. Probably more commonly known as Dr. Evil.
Look what you did to Mr. Bigglesworth!
Freddy Krueger, and oh yes, Satan.
Satan.
He's pretty bad.
I think in a list of super villains, probably near the top,
Probably one of the first,
or
actually.
near the bottom, maybe closer to the bottom. Anything stick out to you right away before we get started? Anything that you think we left off the list that we should have put on the list? Anything that you want to preference before we get started?
I'm not telling you what
I
we
was going to
left
say,
off
I
the
got to
list.
surprise you with that.
He's trying to get a curveball. That's okay, folks. I have my off-the-board selection ready to go. Gabriel Johnson, you have drawn the shortest Jesse, and he has selected you.
Yeah, this is a tough one. So I get to go 1-1. I feel like I should pick Satan.
It would be the one.
It is the supervillain of all supervillains, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to go with who, for my money, is the most recognizable across our culture from a young age all the way to old people, and that is one Darth Vader.
That was going to be my choice. Okay. That is an excellent selection.
Would have been one of mine, too.
So you say that about recognizable from top to bottom. My kids just finally started watching Star Wars. We consumed episode 4, A New Hope. And then we got halfway through the best one.
Yeah.
However, it was bath time and whatnot. So we haven't finished that one yet. But the second we turned on Star Wars, the littlest one, 5 years old, runs upstairs, puts on his Darth Vader costume, and comes back down to watch the movie as Darth Vader.
Heck yeah.
Never seen the movie before.
But he knows it's coming.
He knows it's coming. So yes, you are 100% correct in that. Let's talk Darth Vader.
He was actually a good guy first.
That's true. Yeah. He's always, even just since day one, though, his presence when he first appears alone, just like you say, and you show it to your kids for the first time, they have the same reaction as anybody who saw it in 1977.
Yeah. It's a crazy costume too, right? Because a lot of the stuff in Star Wars looks like you went in your garage and grabbed like parts off a vacuum.
And that's pretty much what they
Yeah.
did.
It's definitely the chest.
Yeah. But the helmet is pretty legit. Like even going back and rewatching it now, and it's on Blu-ray, so I'm sure they've went in and touched it up. Or
Oh, you
whatever.
have to, because if you've seen a lot of that stuff that they upscale, and it's like, oh my gosh, you can like see the glue marks.
Well, yeah, like
Well, you watch the original, they're bonking their heads on the door.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I laughed my ass off the first time I saw that.
yeah, C-3PO in it looks pretty terrible. It's like you can see like thumb smudges on the plastic. But yeah, it actually holds up pretty well. That costume, that entire ensemble that he's got going on it's pretty foreboding.
Yeah. My older son was Darth Vader 2, maybe 3 Halloweens in a row.
Okay.
He's like, no, I don't need a new costume. Why would I be anything but Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Right? What are you talking about? This is my Halloween costume.
So did you start your kids 1, 2, 3, or did you do what you should do, which is 4, 5, 6?
I did 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
I think it would be inappropriate to introduce your kids to 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. You got to establish the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And then be like, well, they did tell the story before it. And
You want to know how he got to be this way?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. We had to have the discussion though. Like, do we start at 1? And I said, I won't make it. I won't make it to 4.
Yeah,
I haven't watched episode 3 in 20 years, and my son gets mad at me, my oldest son, because he said that's the best one. And
3 is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
2
and
and 3 are good movies.
You know, they're re-releasing that in theaters because it's the 20th anniversary.
okay, I would go watch it in the theaters. Maybe that's what I'll do because I honestly
I
haven't
loved it
watched
in the theater. I'll never forget that
Okay.
opening shot where they're just cruising around and then they fly into the main battle, and it was just so epic.
And the sonic, the bass boom.
Oh, from the Attack of the Clones.
That's an Attack
That's
of the
an
Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
Anyways. Gabe, final thoughts on your Darth Vader selection. Which is your favorite part or your favorite moment of Darth Vader? Let's go that.
My favorite moment is when he almost kills his son.
Oh, the redemption was good.
That was maybe my favorite moment too, though, was when he saved his son's life and killed Palpatine for at least like 8 installments.
Yeah.
Until they're like,
For 50 years.
you know what? Surprise, he's back.
Yeah.
Or no, he was a clone. Was it?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I don't.
I do not remember.
I remember watching. I remember watching 9, just being like, "What is happening? Why am I doing this?"
Yep, same. Absolutely
I
same.
would say the end of Empire Strikes Back. It's the best installment in the franchise. It's when Vader's on top. It's when he's at his most powerful. That's the best.
All of Empire Strike Back, because having just watched it, he's so much improved from even the first one. Like the first one, he's just kind of a menacing character, and the second one, like you get this feeling of like this dude's really dark. Yeah. Like there's some dark shit going on, and then you realize that he is the apprentice as well. Essentially, he has a master but that almost makes him scarier.
Oh yeah.
Like now he's not necessarily the one making the decisions.
Yeah, now he's following orders.
Yeah, which is also very fucked up. Yeah. I will actually say though, I love. Is it Rogue One?
Rogue One, the hallway scene.
Oh my gosh, the tent. Oh, that was.
I go back and just watch that. Scene.
That's why that movie is the best standalone that they did.
I actually like Rogue One a lot. I haven't watched it in probably since it came out.
Or getting to see more scenes with the X-wing crew from A New Hope.
Yeah, but just that
that was
the fear is present.
Oh yeah,
in that moment. So
this guy's coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop him.
you're done. You're done,
and you're done. Gabe,
cool.
an excellent first choice.
Thank you.
So there we have that. I gotta say, I'm not real happy with that selection. I was hoping you would go with the Prince of Darkness himself, and that would leave Darth Vader for me. But because you've done that, I am going with the Joker. So
Another prince
of also darkness, but more so
the clown prince of crime.
Of chaos. So I am selecting the Joker because I think that the Joker is a really wildly interesting character in that completely unhinged. And that's difficult to get right. There's plenty of movies and things that try that type of character, but they typically don't end up feeling like dangerous.
Sure.
They feel silly by the end because they're like, I'm zany,
I'm a clown.
I'm a clown. there are versions of the Joker that are the zany clown, but there are also versions of the Joker that are very fucking dark. And I think that there's still room there in the cinematic universes to go there. They've kind of dipped their toe in the water. Was it with Justice League where the Robin's suit is like on display because Robin is dead, and they just gloss over it. But
totally
the
glossed
Joker
over.
fucking kills him.
Yeah.
Like the Joker kills fucking Robin, my favorite character of all time. Like I love Robin. I don't know why. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, the Joker hates Robin.
Hey, well, he should.
Hey, did.
Well,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he gets in between.
Yes.
His love for Batman.
Anyways, we talked about it just last episode where, Heath Ledger and his performance in that. I think it's fantastic. I'm a huge Batman 89 guy. I know you are as well.
Yeah, that was the Keaton ones were.
The Keaton ones are great.
They are great. And as much as the Flash was kind of, it was really nice to see Keaton back.
It was good to see him back. Have you guys seen the new Flash movie?
Negative.
Okay, don't. First and foremost.
Wasn't going to.
It's okay. You would love it because he does a thingamajoo where he I'm pretty sure I just said thingamajoo.
You
I
did.
didn't mean to. I meant to say thingamadoo.
You get to see all the different universes
Yeah, so
of characters like they actually made. Remember the Nick Cage Superman
That's
movie?
what I was going to say.
Okay.
That was supposed to come
All
out in
right.
the 90s that Kevin Smith had his hands in.
Yeah. Spoiler alert to people who haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
they
Oh, maybe
actually
I'll check it out.
in one of the universes. Yeah, he's fighting a giant spider monster.
Yes.
and
Yep.
and then there's
Really?
Nick Cage with his long hair. That because the heat, like they made the suit. They were millions into production on that.
Oh
movie.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
So for that one
That's like
second,
Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite
get to see
Spider-Man
it.
movie
Yeah.
because
How
Nick
meta.
Cage is in it.
and I'm sure that just tickled
yeah.
Nick because he is a ginormous Superman fan.
Yeah, well, he named his kid after
Oh, that's
Superman for crying out loud. So, weirdo, nerd alert.
Nerd alert!
Anyways, the Joker's sweet. I like the violence of it, which is something that not all of these characters will have, right? I think there's a lot of supervillains that aren't actually violent.
Yeah.
I like the violence. I think that the unhinged violence is fucking frightening to me.
Yeah.
Like if you
He'll melt your face with a lapel pin.
Yeah. 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 And then like make his like lady friend hang out with like a weird freaking plaster freaking thing on her face. It's crazy. It just keeps her around.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I deformed you and now you're just here hanging out looking like that. It's fun for everyone. No, it's fucking weird. Get this guy out of here.
A little song, a little dance. Batman's head on a lance.
Anyways, super villain.
And even the Hamill version was pretty diabolical in the animated series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The animated series or like the Arkham games.
Oh yeah. Oh, those are good games.
He's
Yep.
pretty wild in those games too.
Solid stuff. So there you have it, folks. The Joker is number 2 off the board. Jesse, your selection is up. Your choices now don't include Darth Vader or the Joker. So, Jesse, what do you got for us? What's your first selection?
Well, since I'm a DC buff, I'm going to say Lex Luthor.
Okay. All right.
All right, Luthor. Where is it? Where's the detonator?
All right. Let's hear about it.
I mean, he goes all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far? When did he get introduced?
He was in Action Comics number 23.
And the
Was
first one
his
is
first appearance,
6?
I believe.
Is 6 the first Superman? Action comic.
Action Comics 1.
Oh, it is 1.
It is 1. yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm wrong.
But he recurs a lot during the first several years of Superman. In fact, at one point, because the very first appearance of him, he had like red hair.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, they've done that several times. Like Eisenberg had
Yeah.
red hair, which I hated his Lex Luthor.
And they do that in the 70, is it 78? This Superman movie. He starts off with a red head of hair.
Yeah. And he had a big, he looked more like a later version.
Okay.
Because there was a version of him in the comics that had more of like wavy brown hair.
Okay.
So that kind of was,
That's not menacing.
it's not menacing.
Say,
But even Smallville,
you're justifying your supervillain pick.
They even-
sometimes he has hair, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
they
You know what-
nodded to that in Smallville too.
What I liked when he started was he had this nice coif. I liked that he had it just get to the juice.
Yeah.
Squeeze it a little. What does he do?
Well, then there was another character in the earlier comics.
I want to talk about somebody else.
there was one of his one of Lex's henchmen,
His barber.
but he was bald in the comics. And then when they brought him back into later comics, the artist didn't know about the characters.
Is that how he became bald?
and that's how he became bald.
That's awesome.
Okay.
actually.
That's how they drew him as because
Well, the guy was like, well, that guy's more menacing.
he's
than
like,
that
oh,
guy."
this must
Yeah.
be Lex Luthor, and the early probably going
Yeah.
back to study the source
Yeah.
before he drew it, and he mixed them up or something.
Are you serious about that? Do you know that to be a fact?
100% serious.
That's
about that.
awesome.
I wouldn't question him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Look at what he's wearing.
I do think yeah, you're wearing the jacket. It looks like you work at the Chamber of Commerce for retro movies.
Oh, and then the Johnny Five shirt.
I like. Well, there you go.
That's a nice
You don't
shirt.
see much short circuit stuff.
No, especially because what's his name goes real hard onto that accent.
He did. Oh yeah, he did. I mean, he was brown face and the accent.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Fisher
yeah.
Stevens.
Fisher Stevens.
Yeah.
It's
pretty like
it's
can't do
off.
that today.
Well, it's,
Unless you're Robert Downey Jr.
yeah.
The biggest pass of
20
all
years ago.
time. Yep.
So-
Yeah, and that was still 20 years ago.
So I like Lex Luthor. Here's my issue with Lex Luthor. Superman. Boring snooze fest. Boring snooze fest. I'm excited for the new movie because I'm interested to see where they're going to take it, right? But when you can do everything, there's nothing you can't do.
Well, they always find a way. That's Lex's appeal.
I do like that.
He's such a super smart person. He always finds a way.
That's true.
To at least temporarily.
That's what I don't
Superman.
get is how is he like a super villain? What can he do? Like he discovered, I don't know if he even discovered, but he had some kryptonite. Mm-hmm. So that helped him kind of corral Superman a little bit.
He finds out, well, every incarnation does it different. But somehow he finds out that that's his weakness.
Yeah.
Makes weapons or creatures that.
But that's it. He just like makes gadgets. He's not.
Yes,
he's
but
not.
he's-
He has no superpower.
No, but the thing that makes him a villain, and this is where I was going to go with it, is like I don't like Superman to me gets boring after a while. However, I do like the idea that he's literally just trying to make money. Like it's never about like taking over the world. It's about I'm going to blow up California because then the coastline is all this land that I bought over here. I like that. Like that's like okay. Yeah, California can fuck off. And that's look good for you. You got beachfront property.
There's that incarnation of Lex.
I like
that
it.
likes the land and the money and stuff. But there's the other one that's just like I fucking hate Superman.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
Yeah, so
because he's
Because
the
no-
most powerful person,
because
and
no man
Lex
should have
wants
that
to be
power.
the most.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
Envy is his power.
and he's an alien. Yeah.
He's so fucking jealous.
His hair fell out, and he blew up California. I don't dislike it, and you are the podcast nerd. On a nerdy podcast, you are the podcast nerd.
Look, the most powerful superhero.
Yeah, this is true.
This is his biggest adversary.
Although we talked about this before
It's
we
a
got
good
started,
pick.
there's another person that killed Superman. So,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Guess who made him though?
yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Hats off. All right. Scott, save us. Go.
I can't believe that I get to pick Satan.
God dang it.
You guys serious? Is the oldest supervillain.
The OG.
The OG.
Not today.
I had somebody ask me the other day, like, what does OG mean? And I was like,
Olive Garden.
yeah. Okay. So you've selected Satan.
Yeah.
It's a hard stance.
I've selected the villain. The villain of all humanity, of all our souls, our eternal souls can belong to him.
The thing I think that's interesting about including Satan on the list is that he falls under the exact same category as everyone that's here.
I would disagree that he's the exact same because these guys all fail. They all get fucked up and lose in the end. Satan, he's got a pretty good winning record.
Yeah, and all them other ones that if they succeed, you're not gonna like spend forever with them and like torture.
I don't know.
Right? No.
Freddy Krueger's is looking you right in the eye.
That's a close. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll accept that. I've always looked at it this way, and maybe I'm wrong, right? Because religion is religion, right? But I've always looked at it as like they're in a stalemate, right? You're in World War I. The trenches move 300 yards, right?
Sure.
And we just keep going back and forth a little bit. But there's a backstory to him, which is kind of cool. Like I like the idea
Because he was a good guy. He has a whole origin story.
You have to have an origin story.
Yeah, he copied Darth Vader.
Fall from grace. Let's go though. Favorite version of Satan?
Oh, man. God.
There's so many.
I don't know, the robot devil from Futurama?
That's a pretty good one. I'm going to throw out one that gets love, but it's kind of fading over time. But Tim Curry as Satan.
Oh, what was that in?
Legend, I think it is. Is that what it's called?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's just good in anything.
Tim Curry's good.
So I continually see that it pops up. So I listen to a lot of like what they call it, like neo noir, basically neo synth, new wave synth.
The music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Listen to.
I've been on such a kick the last couple of weeks of that.
Of that stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So I'm kind of I've been listening to it for like 5 years, so I'm kind of like hitting max saturation of it.
Sure.
But there's a couple of them that have the thing that the DJs love to do, where all of a sudden they put in the clip from the movie, and it's him as the devil. So every once in a while, as I'm just listening to music, here's Tim Curry as the devil, which is just kind of an enjoyable experience. I would have thought you would have said Pick a Destiny.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, too.
As your
I was
favorite
kind of put on the spot. I just picked the first one I could think of.
South Park.
South Park that's
great.
It's a very good one.
I would go with Little Nicky, but I think I'm going to go with the version from the Bible.
It's the scariest one of all.
There's no pictures of that one, though. You can't see them.
Michelangelo drew a bunch of them.
Did he? I don't think that's true.
No, he fought people with nunchucks.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to get into some really messed up stuff, he doesn't have any pictures of actual Satan, I don't believe, but Hieronymus Bosch. Have you ever seen his stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. You want to see like bugs pooping out people and like
That is some
I do
weird.
not.
it's the weirdest stuff you'll ever see. It's like, I just got a flute in his butt. Why is that? I'm serious.
Well, that I'm on board.
It's like
This one time at band camp?
That sounds funny.
It's a Where's Waldo of weird shit. That's what it is. It's messed up.
I think that was I forgot which picture it was, but in art class in high school, we had to recreate this picture.
Okay.
Drawing it. I forgot if they made you block it off or something and
Do
then
a grid.
recreate it.
Yep. So you'd have half of it, and then you'd have to grid the other half and draw.
And I
it.
chose one of them, and I remember
Okay.
the art teacher coming by and goes, "Well, that was an interesting choice."
I was big into Hieronymus Bosch in high school because I was like, "This is wild. I don't know what you're trying to tell me, but that looks like a really bad time." It was because he's got one. It's 3 panels. It's like the Garden of Earthly Delight, Earth, and Hell, and so it's 3 Where's Waldos. These ones have flowers in their butts. These ones have.
But everybody's got something.
Everybody's got something in their butt.
A lot of things in butts. A lot of things in butts. I don't know what you were trying to tell me.
It's probably it's one way to make the whole inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure what's going on over there. but-
Yeah, that one I did was like a monk, and then all these demons were tearing them apart.
Yeah. That's the temptation of Saint. It's not Peter, but it's the temptation of some saint. I know which one. We're talking about. Scott, super fast, last, and then we'll move on. Favorite Satan superpower?
Well,
There's only one answer.
I mean, God can do anything, right?
Yeah. He's Superman.
He can't kill Satan?
Yes. He can. He gave us free will.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Stalemate.
So, I don't know. Maybe you should do something about that.
Not dying. That's his grace.
Superpower is getting away with it.
Yes. His greatest superpower is convincing the world he didn't exist.
Sure.
He's the only one on the list that he's not Lex Luthor. He doesn't want to be the best. He just is the fucking best. All right. Scott, bring us home with your next pick, please.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh, that's a 1-2.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Satan gets your soul, and if he doesn't get that, Freddy Krueger's getting you while you fucking
Oh,
sleep.
wow. Okay. I didn't see that combo coming. You're kind of creeping me out here.
Yeah, I'm after the bad guys. The best bad guys.
Did a good job.
I want the one who makes it so that not even God can save you. And the one that even if you go to sleep,
Yeah.
I'm going to get you.
Especially if you
That's
go to
the
sleep.
scary thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was always as a
Don't
kid,
sleep.
oh my God, if I fall
Don't
asleep.
Sleep.
Yeah, and you know that. It's like the best. You learn that lesson to teach kids. Like, just try and stay awake. Just try and stay awake as hard as you can. Just try as hard as you can, and they'll fall asleep
I'm
immediately.
surprised that somehow they didn't tie that in with Joe Cola. That would have been the best ad campaign of all time.
Yeah.
Just a Freddy claw coming up from
Yeah,
underground and grabbing the jolt. Okay, so let's talk about it real quick. The first Nightmare on Elm Street, I think, is one of the best horror movies of all time.
It's quite good.
I am a big fan of Friday the 13th. I like it, but it's way more low budget. You know, hey, we just kind of shot this.
Right. We had a weekend and a camera.
Yeah.
I always went Freddy, Friday, Halloween.
Okay, yeah.
That
yeah.
was kind of.
I missed Halloween. Halloween was prior to us. It was too old by the time we were born and kind of came around that stuff. Our parents, we weren't around with any horror movie stuff. So I didn't see that until I was like at a friend's house on cable.
I had a couple. Like my parents wouldn't rent that, but I always had that friend that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freddy, though, the first one is a flipping gore fest.
Yeah.
It's crazy the amount of blood that's in that movie.
I was
Oh my
surprised.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I watched it for the first time last year. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
That,
Johnny
with
Depp.
All that blood.
I believe it is Johnny Depp's
That's
first
his first.
movie.
Yep,
Yeah,
it is.
yep.
You're right.
And isn't Kevin Bacon's first movie Friday
It
the
is-
13th?
I believe technically it is not his first movie, but
Okay.
it
He
was.
was in Animal House.
Is he? Which one's first? Yeah, it would be first. Yeah, because Friday the 13th is like
close.
1980. Animal House is probably 78, maybe a little bit before that. But yeah,
was
you're
pretty
correct.
close,
yeah.
yeah.
So Kevin Bacon, I believe, had been in 3. I think this is his 3rd film,
Okay.
but it was like that one.
It was a very minor
Yeah, it was-
role.
and it was supposed to be just. It's one of those where he's like, yeah, I'll do it because I need the money, and then it's kind of like what happened with Tremors. It's the same thing with him in Tremors. Like, yeah, I'll do
Oh
it.
yeah, because he was only in the
And then
first one. Was
yeah.
it just the first one he was in?
Yeah, and then they blow up, and actually, Tremors didn't become
And they
big
hired Don
until
Cheadle.
everyone makes that mistake. Talk about it. Favorite Friday the 13th.
the first one?
Favorite Nightmare on Elm Street?
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I prefer the first one. My daughter told me 3 days ago that the second one is her favorite. She's 11.
She's 11. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's something Callie would do.
You have scary movie nights every once in a while. The one night we
Yeah, you watch Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's too scary. That's too scary.
Gremlins.
Friday the 13th is like ripping their flesh off, like in their dreams.
Yeah.
Eesh. Okay.
She knows it's a movie.
It's just a movie.
My kid's getting dressing up as Darth Vader because Darth Vader's coming on the screen.
He's 5. My daughter's 11. She just got to the big kids school.
Okay. All right.
And we did a night after the pizzeria closed. We just moved all the tables, and she had a couple of friends come over. We went home and grabbed a bunch of sleeping bags and blankets.
Cool.
And just had a slumber party out in the dining room with the
Cool.
TV, so they watched scary
Sweet.
movies for Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't get any phone calls from the parents saying like, what's going on here?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Those are
the
choices.
one kid 3 years ago was like, "Oh, we should watch Squid Game." I watch that all the time. And I was like, "Oh, okay. So you're coming over when we want to watch scary
Yeah,
movies."
you're fine. You're fine.
You're on the list. You're on the list. I like it. Great backstory. I like that. There's a new one coming out. I thought that I had read that Robert Englund had said that he was too old to play the role, but now I watched the trailer last night.
I heard that too, but he's in it, isn't he?
It says his name on the trailer. In the background, it keeps like kind of showing him, and I was like, that looks weird. It doesn't look like Freddy, and Freddy has a very distinct look. But then his name is right in it. Do you want to know who the girl is from it? Stranger Things.
Oh, Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown in the new Nightmare on Elm Street.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's a combo. That'll be
interesting.
Stranger Things. have
But she didn't want to typecast herself. But
happened. No, sometimes I have to die. All right. Any final thoughts on Freddy Krueger?
Nah. He's just scary as shit.
Okay. You clear your throat one more time, and I'm going to strangle you.
Scary
I
Terry.
haven't cleared my throat once.
Isn't that where they got Scary Terry from?
It is where they got Scary Terry from.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, bitch.
All right. All right, Jesse, you are next.
Ooh.
Quite a few gone off the list. Once again, Lex Luthor is gone.
I'm going to be nice and leave one for you.
For me?
I know you want.
No, I don't know if you know what I want. Oh yeah, I know.
I think I know what I
we all know
what you want.
We all know which one I want. I'm the only one that wants it. I'm surprised you want it.
Who? You edge out on that. You like that. I love that franchise, but I know you like it a lot more than I do.
I probably like it the most in this room. Yes, that's true. James Bond, he's talking about, of course.
Boy, that's.
So you've got
Thanos is good, but
you've got Magneto, Venom, Thanos, Doctor Doom, Hannibal Lecter, Voldemort, or Sauron. Ernst, and you can always go off the board.
yeah, I'm tossing up between Magneto and Venom.
Okay. Now remember this: you have only 2 more choices,
And then I got
selection.
I want to save my curveball.
You only have you only have 2 choices. So if you take one off the list now,
Oh, that's true.
you can always take another one off the list.
I'll say Magneto.
He's gonna go with Magneto, folks.
I am Magneto, master of magnet.
Iconic.
Let's talk about it.
The backstory.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a tough. You can feel his pain.
Sure.
Seeing his whole family and his mom die and having to go through that whole Nazi experience and all that stuff. And then I could see where that would just create someone that is just going to be twisted for the rest of their life.
For sure.
Especially because he has that mutation that can. It's a pretty good one. I mean, controlling metal.
Yeah.
I like what they do with it, right? So like he controls metal, and that's like, all right, cool. You can make things float and whatnot. But then they take it like to the step of like there's iron in your blood.
And they got it when they put the thing in the guard's thing, and then they're like, now you got micro amounts, and then you're like, wee, and then I got a weapon now.
Yeah. But I like the idea because there's the kind of the 2 sides. You got your Xavier, your Professor X. And
they're
together.
had such a good relationship.
Yeah.
And the back and forth was always really good with them.
Yeah, that movie's really good, actually. It was the one that I'm like, I don't really have any more interest in any more X-Men movies. And then that one came out, which is that Days of Future Past, or is that, no, First Class. Is that the one?
Oh, that's
the one that's back in the 60s.
McAvoy back in the 60s. And
it holds up. It's a pretty good movie, which I think is kind of cool, like what they're doing with Fantastic Four and taking it back to the 60s. I kind of like that. It's got a cool feel to it. But it's interesting that you've got the 2 characters that have a very similar feel for like we're just trying to help our mutant kind.
Except for Magneto hates regular humans.
That's just it, right? That's what makes a supervillain. Like the one guy has a normal, life, not necessarily a great life. I wouldn't say that Professor X is walking around.
No.
He's had some pain in his life. But you take 2 people and you have one person go through a type of hatred that he witnesses.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from.
I like it.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite backstories.
Oh yeah. It's
always nice to have sympathy for the guy that wants to kill everybody.
Yeah. Well, when I was doing research and looking up, best supervillains and kind of getting the backstories and everybody, he showed up on the top of a lot of lists. Magneto's a popular supervillain.
Well, it's a cool idea because the whole concept of X-Men is the 1960s, the civil rights movement. And there are 2 ways to go about that. There is the militant, the man type of thing. And then there's the like, well, we can go about this a different way. And so it's cool.
That ends in death.
But it is interesting though to like see as you're both coming from the same side of being the civil rights movement stuff, and then seeing it from like this could get dark as well. It's a cool approach to taking interesting source material. So if it's an allegory for the civil rights movement,
it totally was, and taking place in that time period too. Yeah,
then this could go dark.
Yeah,
if you allow it to go dark. So.
Because that was that First Class, that was like the Cuban Missile Crisis, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, a little weird with it.
And they tied that into the whole
it's like an actual missile. Superhero movies where like they stop missiles, it just drives me nuts. Why is it always a missile? It's always a missile.
Because a missile can
push it
destroy
off
an
into
entire
space or redirect it.
It's always a missile.
No, you fly with it through the dimensional portal.
Yeah, that happens. Yep,
That's Avengers.
Yep,
The first Avengers movie.
Yep, everybody's got to have a missile. Get this missile out of here.
Yeah, it's impending doom. It's coming. Somebody's got to do something about it.
Also, one of the coolest looking villains.
Oh, the helmet was great.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of making it look a lot like the comic book helmet.
Yeah. Comic books is good.
He goes way back.
Big fan of the television show, though, as well, the cartoon.
Oh, yep. Grew up watching that.
Did you consume 97? The one that came on Disney?
Absolutely loved it.
Did you?
Did you? You must have watched it.
I got through like 3 or 4 episodes of it and then just ran out of time.
But it
haven't
has the
went back to
same
it.
feel, exact same feel.
Very
as-
well animated.
Yeah, very well, good animation.
And I'm a Gambit guy.
Oh, yeah,
so
You
yeah,
watched the Deadpool, right?
No, I haven't seen the new Deadpool yet. So stay out of it.
So you better watch it.
Yeah, shut your mouth.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I was really pissed when they announced they were going to have a Gambit movie, and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they did because they would have fucked up. In that time frame, they would have fucked up.
You gotta okay. So yeah, I won't say anything.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna be happy about that when you watch that movie.
I know. I haven't seen the movie and I've consumed everything about it because it just you can't go on social media now and being like, oh, I want to see that movie. Then just go watch the movie because if you're not going to, you're just going to get.
I did that with Endgame.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I was reading a comment section, and some guy's like, "Iron Man dies, Black Widow dies. Fuck you guys."
Spoiler alert.
That was his comment.
Spoiler alert. Final thoughts on Magneto.
He's up there for Marvel villains. I mean, there are a lot of good Marvel villains, but he's top.
I would say, yeah. I would say in terms of Marvel villains, I like him better than Thanos.
Yeah, I didn't really care, and I remember even in 5th grade reading like when he was in like the Defenders stuff, and I never like, oh yeah, you're a big strong dude that gets the gauntlet that can get rid of. Yeah. Stupid.
What a douche. All right. Are you done?
I think
Magneto? All right.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick. Still so goddamn nerdy, though. Jesus Christ. We got to knock some of the nerd off you. So I've got the Joker. World is my oyster right now. World is my oyster. Can't make a bad pick. My heart says Venom. Big fan. Have not consumed a single second of any of those movies.
Me neither.
So I'm not going to pick them because of that. Because like, if you would have told Dave Badeaux, maybe prior to Spider-Man 3, if you would have told Dave Badeaux that future Dave Badeaux would be like, I'm not really that interested in Venom,
Right.
I probably would cry. I like me some Voldemort Sauron, but I'm going to go. God, I have to, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going with Blofeld. Everyone knew it was happening, and it's going to happen. There's another pick on here that I like, but there's a thing about Blofeld that I love, and it's that he's in the James Bond universe, and the James Bond universe is my favorite fucking thing. This is an interesting one, though, because Blofeld is a character that they didn't do a good job of making it consistent. So if you watch Austin Powers and you see Dr. Evil, you get a feel for like, okay, he's got a cat and he's bald and he's got like the lazy eye scar.
The big scar.
Yeah. The problem with the James Bond movies is that Blofeld is either sometimes kind of shows up, isn't really a part of it, is a part of it, looks completely different. There's no continuity to this villain at all. However, the best versions of him we're going to talk about in a couple months or a couple weeks. The versions of him where he is actually the bad guy are pretty fascinating, and I love I'm going to take over the world, but I'm going to take over the world because I want to be the richest dude around. I love that. I think it's if you took the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, or some people believe Elon Musk is doing it. Some people believe he's doing it. There is potential for the smartest human beings, i.e. Lex Luthor, to then figure out the system and figure out how to then...
Like, you know what? Why don't I just take over the world?
Why don't I just do that? But I also like
I have all the money.
Yeah, I also like it when they then do the Bill Gateses, which Blofeld is Bill Gates.
Who's actually evil but pretends he's doing good.
Yeah, yes. We're just trying to solve the world's problems. But really, we're inventing a way to kill you all, and we're going to kill you all so that we make all the money. I find that fascinating. And from a movie standpoint of like James Bond, where you don't want it to be overly like heavy, right? You don't want your bad guy to be, no offense, but I don't need to hear about the Holocaust right now in my James Bond movie. It's created in a way that it's a fascinating, fun character, and that because of Dr. Evil, it's iconic enough that the moments and the beats kind of follow it throughout the entire thing. But I will say this: if you are a person that consumes the James Bond universe and you go movie to movie to movie, like when he shows up, you're like, oh, cool, and then you're like, oh, what was that? That's weird. Like there's the last example before he shows up, like recently.
He's a recurring character.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's like the Stan Lee of the Bond universe.
That's kind of what it is.
I didn't realize.
Yeah. So he's not, and it's not. It starts off with him as like being the main bad guy, right? It's like just a guy in the shadows with a cat controlling shit. And then you're like introduced, and then he actually like plays a role, and then they like play him for. By the end, they like play him for laughs, and it's a weird decision, which makes like the whole thing feel kind of weird. But initially, it starts off with like there's this shadowy dude that's pulling the strings, and an evil UN. You're a Venture Brothers fan. That's what all that is. The Guild of Calamitous Intent.
Yep, they're in the room plotting to take over the world.
Yeah. Anyways, I love Blofeld. I think it's great. That's my selection, and mainly because God, I just love James Bond. I love it. And you guys are going to find out because both these two have not consumed James Bond like they should, and are going to consume Goldfinger, and then the best Ernst Blofeld movie, which is On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, see, those are good ones to get into.
Yeah. So there we go.
For like, if you've never really gotten into the original Bond, those are two of the best.
Those are the ones.
I've seen The Man with the Golden Gun plenty of times.
Yeah, that one's a weird one.
I've never seen a Bond movie.
Ever? No. None of them.
You never
GoldenEye?
Never
played
even
GoldenEye.
did Gold. Well, yeah.
Well, then you've seen the movie.
All right. I played multiplayer. I didn't even go through the.
Oh no, then you haven't
player.
seen the movie, and you know nothing. All right, that's my selection. I am going with Ernst Blofeld. Gabe, you've got two in a row to finish yourself off here.
All right, I am going to go with the Voldemort Sauron pick.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to switch it up. I was thinking Voldemort before the program. I'm going Sauron.
This is what I like about Gabe Johnson.
He found something out.
No, I just was thinking about it. It's like, you know what? It's a bit of a sneaky pick because really Sauron is just Satan.
Yeah.
Right? So I also get Satan.
Yes.
But I think, having not finished the Harry Potter movies or books yet, I don't know how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
I know how Lord of the Rings ends. But I think Sauron, even throughout the whole story, commands more of an evil presence, commands more of a bigger army. He's always present, no matter what's going on, and it's a good battle between evil and good.
Yes,
and good wins out because bad guys suck at winning. To be honest,
they got beat by hobbits.
Yeah, but Sauron is a great evil character.
I will say that Voldemort and Sauron are the same thing. They're the same character, right? And
Harry Potter is Lord of the Rings written for kids.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's just a watered down.
Mm-hmm. The mistake she makes is that she lets Voldemort come back. Like, and spoiler alert, but she lets him come back.
What? Dumbledore's gay?
If Sauron ever came back, the world ends, and it's a powerful way to have a villain where the villain is so powerful that just his fucking eye is enough to like fuck up the world. Just his eye.
And if he comes back, the world ends. But there's a risk that he might come back.
Yes,
so
he's coming
back.
Just
he's just over us at all times.
Yes, yeah, I like it. Lord of the Rings is interesting. I tried reading it. Have you ever read it?
That is one thing I can claim I've never read.
Can't do it. I can't do it. Have you tried?
I read the first one. I got about halfway through the Two Towers.
It's so hard.
It's a slog.
Yeah, it's a slog. His writing style is really even when you're super nerds like us, it's hard to get through.
Tolkien is a little harder to read than a lot of authors.
Think about the movies.
Yes.
What did we say about the movies?
It's walking.
It's walking.
Yes.
A lot of
now
walking.
let's read about walking.
Well, and it's funny you're going to say that because my thought process of it is it's like walking through muck though with him, because it's like every step carries so much bullshit with it. Like it's picking up all this shit and carrying it one step at a time.
Yeah.
And I've tried because it is
Like, let's fucking go.
yeah.
Move on.
It is so much up my
Eventually,
alley.
they get to jogging and running.
No, they get to where the horses are and they're like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
But imagine describing your leg moving
Yes.
from one position
Yes.
to a little bit forward. Okay, but now you're running, but you have to describe that motion the exact same way.
So it takes a whole page to
couldn't
get 10 feet.
I read a little bit into one of them, and I went, "This is not. I can't do this."
I don't need to know how the tendons work. The muscle is enough. You say calf and I'm good. I don't need to know
what
how it's
that is.
attached and how every step it twitches a little.
Yeah, you say they're walking, and I believe you.
That's the one thing I said about the James Bond books is I love whenever he has lunch, it just tells you everything.
That's the one over the top.
Yeah, there's a little bit of this, and he's had a cucumber sandwich that was cut to the left from the circle. It's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, moving on. Tolkien is that, only it's like, and there was an elf, and the elf had a left ear that was slightly pierced, but then this. And the reason for that was, and then you go back 30,000 years to talk about why he's, and then then you get back and you're like, oh yeah, he's eating a sandwich.
Oh, what the hell? Second president.
All right. Excellent pick. Excellent pick.
Off the board for
Okay.
my third and final pick.
Don't you do it. You're the only one I'm worried about.
Maybe the second most recognizable villain of all time.
Okay.
Up there at least. Count Dracula.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay.
For a second, I thought you said Count Chocula. I was like, that's funny.
He gives kids diabetes. No, Count Dracula, he's been around for 125, 130 years, and many iterations of him, and they're all scary. And, he's the epitome of the vampire, right?
Oh yeah, and the old ones are the best.
No. Renfield.
Nick Cage is the best.
Oh gosh, yeah. Screw Bela Lugosi.
Oh man. I typically don't like vampires because they're kind of Superman to me. So typically vampire movies make me mad because it's Superman, right? The only way to kill him is 3 things.
The only vampires thing that ever pissed me off was Twilight.
Yeah, but I've always just kind of said like I don't like super things that have to be like killed specific ways, right? But Dracula's pretty freaking sweet. And so we grew up playing Castlevania games. And Castlevania games are freaking awesome. So it started off as they were just wanted to make a game that was about classic horror monsters. And so you go through Wolfman and Medusas, yeah. So it's all like these classical beasts, Frankenstein. But then the end is Dracula. That game spawned a series that then becomes really freaking cool because it's like, okay, well, now he's got a son, and his son is battling against him to help make sure he doesn't get resurrected.
What's his son's name?
His son is Alucard because it's Dracula backwards, which
Easy enough.
in a way is cool, but then also really gay. I love those games. Symphony of Night is incredible, but even just the old games are awesome. But Netflix has a Castlevania anime that is really good.
Really good.
It's really good.
I watched like the
haven't
first.
watched that. I heard it's great.
I watched the first episode or 2 of the newer one.
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't gotten into that one as much, but the first one, really good watch.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
I remember getting a couple episodes into it and being like, what the fuck? Fucking good.
Yeah. Well, it's like why Dracula's cool. Or like even if you go back to the backstory of like Romania or like Transylvania type stuff, and you're just like, yeah, that was a pretty spooky place to be in because these dudes are just like, no, I don't want you anywhere near us. We're just gonna put heads on spikes. That shit happened. That's
Yeah.
Oh, that's real.
That's fucked up.
Right.
And then of course, like that's how myths and stuff become about. Like, yeah, that guy fucking lives forever because it's like, look what he's got. He's got heads on spikes. That's a good pick. I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. So you said your favorite is Renfield.
Absolutely. Nick Cage plays the best Dracula.
Yeah, of course he does.
He plays the best everything, though.
And that's a very Tom Hanks role for him. Tom Hanks plays Tom Hanks in a hat. Nick Cage plays Nick Cage as Dracula.
In a cape.
The cape, yeah. With some fangs. Great pick. Final thoughts? Dracula, anybody?
Classic.
Yeah, all the original monster
Yeah.
stuff, the source. Well, now we're getting all the new ones.
Yeah, you're big into that. You're big into the old
Like the
Universal-
Frankenstein,
Yep.
and the Universal monsters.
Universal
yeah.
monsters.
They just did. I didn't see the Wolfman one though. That just came out.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
already,
yeah,
it's already
yeah,
out
yeah.
of theaters.
It was. I didn't even know it was in.
Yeah, it was.
The Wolfman's sneakier than I thought.
The main star was what was her name from Ozark?
Oh yeah,
I don't know fuck about shit.
Yeah, I forgot that was actually a Wolfman
I saw a
movie.
preview for that.
I think it's called Wolfman, isn't
Yep.
it? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's called Wolfman.
I forgot it was a Wolfman movie.
We got Frankenstein coming next.
Frankenstein will be kind of cool. Frankenstein's a cool idea because
I've always liked
Frankenstein's monster is a cool concept. You know, like, hey, we can maybe bring this corpse back to life. Oh, that's a bad idea. Whoops.
Pick the bad brain.
Yeah. Okay, Gabe, you have selected Dracula. Gabe,
That's a good one.
Darth Vader, Sauron, and Dracula is a hell of a list. Hell of a list. I have the Joker. I have Ernst Blofeld. Two wild different ends of the spectrum. I think I need someone that
Scary.
is a little bit between the two. I want an evil genius that is maybe in his own world the smartest character in his
Son of a
timeline.
bitch.
I think you also need him to be chaotic, mostly a little bit involved in a lot of hijinks, but then really, really deep down evil. And that character is Eric Cartman. In a world of supervillains, there are supervillains, and then there is a young boy who feeds another young boy his parents in Chile,
Yes.
and then licks the tears of unfathomable sadness while singing a little ditty about how he fed him his parents. It doesn't get any more chaotic and evil than Eric Cartman.
That's a good pick.
It is.
And you have a very diverse list. I'll give you that.
I was looking for a little of this and a little of that. Once you put me onto Joker, that put me into a scenario where, okay, well, now I got to ground myself a little bit. You can't be chaos all the time. You got to ground yourself a little bit. Blofeld, very, very grounded. But then you got to get somebody in there that's just evil incarnate. And I'm sorry to say that I believe that Eric Cartman is evil incarnate.
He is an evil little kid. Like, just the stuff he does to his friends. It's like, if you do that to your friends, holy crap.
Yeah, you're willing to do that to the people that you like around you, supposedly like around you. And it starts off as an 8-year-old. Aren't they more like 10 now or somewhere in that range?
Did they actually move their age?
I don't know if they did. Maybe
know
they
if they
still
still
are.
are.
But they started off as 8-year-olds, which is interesting. 8-year-olds, dude.
Yeah, I think they're still fourth graders.
Yeah. Well, fourth grade. See, but that's what I always thought. Fourth grade is 10. But when they
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be more like 9, 10, yeah.
they were 10. I was 9 in
So I thought
third grade.
I thought they were more like fourth graders.
I thought they were too. That's what I thought. But then when I was listening to them talk about it at the beginning, when they're first like talking about the show, they always referred to them as 8-year-olds. So
So they're third graders.
third graders, yeah. But I think they're fourth graders. I want to say
Chopping people up and cooking them in chili
and cooking them in chili.
and feeding them to their grieving child.
It's great. It's fantastic. That whole scene is amazing because it starts off the kid thinks he's gonna feed him pubes, and you think it's just gonna be the Princess Bride, where he's just like, you thought that I was going to, but I didn't. Instead, you are. And then instead, you're like, oh no, it went way worse. I knew.
I murdered your parents.
Well, no, he doesn't even murder them. He knew that Stan and Kyle would rat him out and tell him that he trained the horse to bite his penis off. So in order to make sure that didn't happen, he knew that he would go to try and make sure that didn't happen, but he wouldn't go alone, so he would bring his parents with, or he would send his parents. So he knew that this kid would send his parents to the horse to make sure that he didn't get his wiener bit off. And instead, the farmer shoots and kills them, and then he chops them up and puts them in chili. And I think that's my favorite part.
It's pretty diabolical.
And my favorite part is him dragging the black bag of their corpses off and talking about how he spent the night chopping them up. Fantastic. And that's just one of his many.
Oh, there are too many to
evil
even-
hijinks.
I mean, how many years has that show been on now?
Holy moly.
It started in what, 97?
96, 97, yeah.
I was in elementary school.
Yeah, probably. I think 97 is the year of the actual show. So,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah,
And they're still just as good as ever.
it's amazing. They're smart, though. Now that they've turned it into short seasons,
Yeah,
and
or just
lot of one-hour
specials.
specials.
A lot of
one-hour
specials. Yeah.
makes a lot more sense because they can write those. It's a better idea. I think they're only doing like 6 episodes now, and then so it's like 6 episodes and the 1 hour special. But they're on. I think they have 9 seasons and like 14 1 hour specials is what their contract is for.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Sure.
So, all right, Jesse, your last pick.
Oh, boy.
Try to beat that.
Well, I'm picking kind of since my last 2 were superhero related,
Yeah, they were.
I'll do one from a novel.
Okay.
Randall Flagg,
Randall Flagg.
The Stand. And so he showed up in a lot of different things, but his big one was The Stand.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You're Stephen Kinging us right now.
I am.
Yes.
I'm totally Stephen King. You.
I don't know if you know this or not.
You hate Stephen King, don't you?
I think Stephen King is fucking wild. I think he's wild. Let's go though. Let's talk The Stand.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't Satan himself, but he was like,
Pretty adjacent.
he was his right-hand man, or he was kind of a helper to just screw the world up.
Okay. When were you first introduced to The Stand? Because I know exactly when I was introduced to it, which was the television
That's one.
special.
That is one I read the book before I saw the miniseries.
Okay.
The book was great. I still have to read the unabridged, which is like a zillion pages.
You don't want to never unabridged.
Yeah, I don't know if I could, but the updated one is the one I read because the original 70s one, it was more of that time period's music and culture, and then in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because the miniseries was good.
I don't know anything about The Stand.
It starts off as like a quarantine type.
It's a plague.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a COVID situation.
Yeah,
And
basically, yeah.
And then just hold on to your pants.
But
here.
everybody who gets it actually dies.
Yeah. But hold on to your pants though. It's Stephen King.
All right.
So it starts off and it's a plague, and you're like, oh shit, there's a plague, and then it's the devil.
Yep. There's always got to be a supernatural or an alien element coming to that. But yeah. Yep. Then it turns into good versus evil and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think and that's the reason why I don't like Stephen King, is because it's always the switcheroo.
But I was introduced in the miniseries. What was it on? Paramount, Peacock?
I think it was ABC.
Way back in like the 90s.
No, like the recent
Oh
one.
yeah.
Oh, the
no, I haven't
recent
seen
one.
The recent one.
That's
I've not
There was
seen
one
the recent
released like 3 years ago.
It was on maybe Max or HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was
It
entertaining.
was good, but it seemed like it didn't get it just like ended and didn't conclude the story, or did it?
I never read the book. I wouldn't know.
Well, did Satan come back? Did they have to gangbang their friend in the swamp underneath the city?
Surprisingly, there was none of that.
There
in
was
this
no
book.
gangbanging of their friend to just save the
No,
world?
there was just demons doing that to women.
Oh, okay. Okay. Stephen King, folks. Coming at you, folks. Wasn't it Lieutenant Dan in the miniseries?
He was, yes.
Yeah.
He played the main
What's his name?
guy. Gary Sinise is the
Gary Sinise,
actor.
Yeah.
Forgot the name of his character in the book.
I don't know. My only
Stan.
my only consumption of this is the miniseries from the 90s, and it was a huge deal. It was one of those things where it was like, because I don't know if you guys remember those at all. They would do the miniseries and they would just I mean, they were just pumping these things.
Oh, every good. I mean, yeah, they redid. Even The Shining had a miniseries.
Yeah, and they
which
would
is actually better than
just advertise the living shit out of
better
these
story
things.
wise.
Okay.
They were a miniseries television event.
Sure.
They were events brought to you by Ford.
It was, it was on ABC. What is that? A two-parter.
Yeah,
Like the It miniseries.
yeah,
two-parter. Like
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh, it's not good.
Oh, I hate it.
I have a special spot.
Come on, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest is trash.
Everything else,
Yeah.
even Seth Green.
Yeah, but I do like that. I do like that we've went like Satan adjacent and Stephen King in this list of villains.
See, that's why it
It's
kind of
good.
tied in.
I like
I'm
it.
like, oh wait, that's why I'm
It's
like, I'm
good.
gonna pick Randall
It's
Flagg.
good. I like it. And you were super safe with your list. Lex Luthor, Magneto. So then you get to Randall Flagg. I do like that, right? I do like that. It's nice. Yeah, it's no Dracula, but it's nice.
So what does this flag guy do? Besides be a right-hand man?
He's in charge of the bad guys.
Yeah, he pretty much
He is the evil.
does the bidding or gathers the followers of Satan basically to get ready to take out the rest of the good people.
It's a nuclear bombs to drop on the good people.
They got a nuke, and they're like, of course, they take Vegas because that is the
Sin City.
Sin City.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the Trash Can Man brings in because he's the pyro.
Of course.
Yeah, he was good. And the actors in that miniseries were great.
I
mean, Gary Sinise, Rob Lowe.
Yep.
Who's the dude who played? The voice of Patrick, and he was on Coach.
Oh yeah. What the fuck is his name? Coach.
Dauber?
It's just
Yeah.
Coach.
Dauber. Yeah.
Dauber.
Dauber,
There
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever his real name is.
That's not real, but it was Dauber on the show. Yeah.
Okay, folks, if you have never seen The Stand or know nothing about it, nothing that Jesse has said in the last 10 minutes gives you any idea of what the fuck is happening.
Stephen King.
Hey, Las Vegas and the trash can guy and the
This name of characters.
this is why I fucking hate Stephen King. It's literally Mad Libs for fucking satanic shit. It's so fucking weird. He's such a weirdo. And he's annoying. Anyways, Scott, take us home. Wrap this episode up.
Sorry. I don't know. I don't know what to do here.
Then choose the nothing from the never-ending story.
Oh, man. Well, what do you do with Randall Flagg then? I have Satan's right-hand man or the nothing.
That's even scarier than Satan because it's nothing.
It is because it's literally nothing. That I think is more scary. I don't know. Getting raped in fire, pretty scary. Pretty scary. It's kept a lot of people in line for millennia.
But it's something.
Yeah. Scott, finish us off.
All right. So Thanos wins,
Yeah, I don't like Thanos.
kinda. Hannibal Lecter gets away.
Mhm.